just coming on here to have a little spout off because I get sick of doing it on Instagram and things like that. What's happened today is Dominic Raab and Savage Javid, I think, came out with the figure of there's been 200,000 new infections yesterday, and he's just put that out there. And it turns out there hasn't been 200,000 new infections yesterday, but there could have been on a model that they looked at. But they don't mention that bit. They never mention that bit. They don't mention that it's based on a model list. But it's putting the fear of God into people. And it's just wrong. So they're going to bring in these measures now that, well, we've just come in with the face masks, and the vaccine passports are going to get voted on tonight, and they'll get them through. Thankfully, there's 80 odd Tory MPs who are going to vote against it. But the Labour Party will just capitulate and do whatever they're told, because they're not an opposition. But that's a different matter altogether. And they're going to introduce these measures now. And they know they don't work. They've seen the statistics. All you have to do is go and look at France's statistics or Italy's statistics, Germany's or whoever, who's had these measures with face mask passports and all the rest of it. And they've had them for months, and their infection rate's gone through the roof too, because this Omicron is obviously a lot more infectious. It turns out, if you listen to the people in South Africa who've had it the longest, about 4 or 5 weeks now, they're saying it's very mild and it hasn't caused any deaths. Dominic Raab came out this morning and announced that someone had died. Well, someone had died of COVID, of Omicron, with Omicron last night. And when he was asked on a radio program, well, can you tell us how old the person was, whether they were, they had an underlying condition, or had they been admitted to hospital with Omicron? Is that the reason they were in there, or were they in there already and they caught it in there? He couldn't divulge people's personal information. But people are dying of this now. Absolute nonsense. It's just propaganda. It's come from this. This could have been written by the Nazi Party, honestly, how they've done this. It's brilliant. They are scaring people witless. But what they are also doing is stopping people coming out, stopping people shopping, stopping people visiting pubs, restaurants, stopping people going to work now. And the knock-on effect of that is huge. The knock-on effect, hospitality is one of the biggest sectors in this country, and the knock-on effect of people just not picking a coffee up on the way to work, picking a sandwich up on the way to work because they sat at home. It's shutting businesses. I know people now who are saying to me, if we go into some kind of lockdown, if we get shut or we get restrictions where you can have one person in the shop at once or all this lot, they're going to shut forever. They can't carry on, and it's just wrong. We have to learn to live with this disease, and we've been saying it. We're 20 odd months in now. 20 odd months, 21 months in, and we make it, and we're doing the same things. That's the difference, and expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. But the government know that they can introduce these measures and go, well, we think they're very light, we think they're very measured, They know they ain't going to work. They know the face masks aren't going to work. They know the vaccine passports aren't going to work. So what does that then allow them to do? I'll tell you what it allows them to do. It allows them to come back to us in 2 or 3 weeks' time and go, well, we tried the mild measures. Oh, we really did. We really wanted them. But unfortunately, we're going to have stronger measures. And you're into it then, aren't you? And we're going to be doing this then year in, year out, every year. The NHS is gone as far as I'm concerned. It's not fit for purpose anymore. It is now only fit for treating COVID patients, because that's a fact. I'm sorry, but it is. When you've got 740,000 less cancer referrals this year by GPs, and they're now saying straight away now, well, we're going to cancel non-urgent appointments. Well, that's all right saying they're non-urgent. They can wait a month or two. Dominic Raab actually said people who can wait a month or two. So you get your non-urgent appointment for your, I don't know. Say you've got a bad leg. You've got a bad leg, and it's been gammy for a bit. So you want to go and see the doctor, and they cancel it, again. But you eventually get in 3 months' time, if you're lucky enough to get in. But if you do get in 3 months' time, so you're getting in 3 months' time, and that's not, well, I better send you for a scan. They send you for a scan and it comes back that this non-urgent appointment actually turns out to be a lump or cancer or something like that, which has now got into bone. And actually, if we'd have caught it earlier, we might have been able to do something. How many people is that going to happen to? I was talking to someone who had been ringing up the doctors because they were having stomach cramps and stomach pains, and the doctor kept prescribing Pepto-Bismol or whatever it's called. So you've got this, you've got that, you've got that. Turns out they had fucking appendicitis. Nearly died. If their appendix had ruptured and they could have got septicemia. How many people has that happened to? We're forgetting everybody. We're forgetting everybody else other than this fucking thing. 95% of this population has antibodies or has been vaccinated. All the real vulnerable groups are practically all vaccinated 3 times. And we're still insisting that people don't go anywhere because now it's more transmissible. We could overwhelm the NHS. We could face people going into hospital. We could have more deaths. We could. Yeah, we could all not fucking bother about it and just get on with our lives. And be sensible like human beings, like sensible human beings. Just say, look, this thing's out there. Be very, very careful. If you've got a cold, if you've got a cough, don't go out. Make sure you have a test. Get yourself tested, and do it over 2 days. Don't do it just take 1 day. I've got a bit of a snivel today. I'll test it because it sometimes takes 24 or 48 hours to show up. So do it over 2 days and stay. And if you've got it, stay at home. Keep out of people's way. When you go out, be sensible. I went in the pub. I'm a pub goer, as we all know. I like a pub. I went in the pub last Friday and I walked out because it was absolutely rammed. So I'm like thinking, fuck, I don't really want to be in there with that many people, cheek by jowl anymore, So I walked out and sat outside. I didn't not have a drink. I walked out and sat outside and I just thought, well, that's how I want to be. And I think people will make a sensible choice given I don't see why this government feels, or all these governments around Europe, and this is what is worrying, it's all of them are doing this. I think the only people who aren't Sweden, and if you go and look at their death rate and their infection rates and things like that, they're working out a lot better than most of us. So I just don't understand why it's happening, but I can't understand why they don't think people have common sense. I really don't. I think everybody who wants to get vaccinated should get vaccinated. If they then tell you need to have a booster, go and have your booster. It's just you're already in the vaccine thing. If you don't want to get vaccinated, trust me, I know people who aren't vaccinated, and they are much, much more careful about who they are, who they're talking to, who they're not talking to, than anyone who's been double jabbed. The double jabbers, I find have been the ones who are most laissez-faire about what they do, where they are. We're sitting there going, yeah, I've just got a bit of a cold, it's right. No, I'm double jabbed, I'm fine, I'm double jabbed. It won't be COVID. Well, they were the ones not taking the tests. The amount of times I had to pull people outside pubs and restaurants and just in everyday life, and they were there sniffling and coughing, and I'm like, what's up with you? Oh, I've just got a bit of a cold. No, I'm double jabbed. It's not COVID, don't worry. So how do you know it's not COVID? Have you took a test? Well, I don't need to take a test. I'm double jabbed. Again, because people were thinking this because the government weren't giving them enough information. People weren't being told, listen, even if you're double jabbed, you can still contract and pass on the virus. You might be slightly less likely to. I think with Omicron, that's absolutely gone out the window now. I think you can just get it or whatever. But certainly with Delta, with the first wave, it was definitely a protection. But once Delta came along, it was very, very minimal. And now I think Omicron's going to just wipe that out. I don't think there's going to be any difference between a vaccinated and an unvaccinated person. That's why I don't think vaccine passports work. That's why I think they're absolute nonsense, because you might have been treble jabbed and you can still have COVID. We know that. You can still have it and you can still then be passing it on to everybody else in that room or that football stadium, wherever you are, if you're with those, even if you're double jabbed. So this the vaccine passport thing's just a nonsense, and we know it's a nonsense. It's just a way of introducing identity cards through the back door, and they've wanted to do it for years and years and years. They've never been allowed to, and now, hey ho, here you go. You know, show us your vaccine passport, and they're going to come in for pubs. They'll come in for. I hope they don't come in for supermarkets, because I think that would be, you know, a step too far. But well, I think they're all a step too far, but I think that would just be basically get your 1984 novel out and start reading it, because that's where you are once they start controlling where you can and can't shop for food. But anyway, I've had my little rant, and I'm going to go and take dog a walk.